AM 1230 and 93.3 FM, KTRF. It is Thursday morning, and Thursdays are our hometown heroes. And joining us on the program this morning is Bill Stock from Thief River Falls Schools. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
Thanks for being in here.
Well, thanks for being invited.
Our show today brought to you by PCAM Electric, by Ace Rental, also by Roxbury Truck Repair, Marco Quickprint, and the Thief River Falls Regional Airport. Bill, you have been a counselor at Thief River Falls Schools for how many years?
Great question. I always have to think, and I figured you'd ask me that. So about 33, I think. This might be 33 or 34.
33 or
right,
34.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. We want to find out a little bit about Bill Stock. So let's go back. Where are you originally from?
Oh, wow. I'm originally from Fargo, North Dakota. I'm actually a Fargo South graduate. My claim to fame, I'll give you a little bit of my age. I just had my 50-year class reunion this summer, and the claim to fame for our class is we were the very first graduating class at Fargo South. So that's that ancient building. I was the senior there when they opened it up, actually. So I'm a Fargo South grad, born and raised in Fargo, and then I went to NDSU, and I have 2 degrees from there. I got a bachelor's degree in psych, and then I got a master's in counseling and guidance from NDSU as well. So spent 10 years in Arizona working as a school counselor, junior high and high school, and then came back to Minnesota. My wife's originally from Thief River Falls.
Okay.
And she's a Hillier, and and it's been a great place to be back. And my first year back, I worked as a halftime counselor in Grigla and a halftime counselor in Goodrich, and I consider that year one of the really special learning opportunities and honestly a highlight of my career, which may sound strange to people. But
Why so?
I grew up in Fargo and lived in Mesa, Arizona, and I didn't know a lot about small town, and I didn't know about small town schools. These are K-12 systems, and then just being back up in northwest Minnesota too. I mean, all of that. So just a quick story. So we're in Arizona. I'm interviewing for jobs, and this job comes up, and so I said, well, I don't, I'm not from here. I don't know where Goodrich and Grigley even are. So I said to my wife, well, where are they? So we explained, and I said, well, what's up there? And she said, nothing. And I said, no, there's got to be something. And she said, I don't think so. So I looked at the map and I went, yeah, that's pretty much true. There isn't anything east and north, and a lot of open territory.
A lot of great open country, yeah.
And those communities embraced me and welcomed me in. Grigla had not had a school counselor ever,
okay,
and Goodrich hadn't had one for a long, long time. So they were new to this counseling world, and I was new to their world, and I met some great people and really learned a lot. I don't know how much good I did. I know they taught me a lot more than I probably taught them or, contributed. But just a really special time in my experience in life, and I treasure that, actually.
And then you came to Thief River Falls.
Then I came to Lincoln High School. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
And you've been here ever since.
I've been here ever since and really like it. Yep.
Bill Stock, our guest on Hometown Heroes. It's interesting to see and hear why people go into the careers that they do. What made you want to get into counseling?
Of course, that's part of my job is helping kids to figure that out. And like a lot of people, if you'd have told me when I was in high school and a senior in high school that I'd be doing this, I would have said, I think you're on drugs. I really don't think that's true.
That's not me.
It was not on my radar screen at all. Okay. When I did interest inventories and stuff as a kid, I was a jock, I was an athlete, and I was an outdoor guy. So what came up, farming and all kinds of other things that were related to outdoors and to physical activity. Mm-hmm. And the people stuff really didn't show up much. And So I started college, and I was actually going to be a dentist at one time, which would have been an absolute disaster. My wife and I talk about that. So, oh, gosh. My eye-hand coordination and my finger dexterity is so bad, I would have never survived.
So good for our teeth. You didn't get into dentistry. Okay.
Everybody's fortunate that I didn't choose to do that. But in the midst of that, I did find psychology. And that's kind of was the start. And once I found that subject area, then it was just a matter of figuring out what I wanted to do with it.
A lot of time people, something gets them into the career, either family oriented or something in their family happens, or somebody they know or whatever. Anything like that get you there, or did it just kind of? Oh, okay,
right? Yeah, yeah. You figure most people in counseling and most people in psychology have a reason, and honestly. I had a lot of family issues growing up, and I come from a family it was a great family, and I had an intact family. But just as an example, I have 4 siblings, and I'm the oldest, and 3 of them dropped out of high school. Okay, so there were issues in that, and they all dropped out for different reasons. So I really took up psych to kind of understand myself. Really, honestly. And that's a very important part of the first step in being in a helping profession is really understanding yourself and what drives you and motivates you. Then you have, once you have some understanding of that, then you have the ability to help others. But you really have to have some foundational information about who you are and what you're about and all of those kind of big questions in life, and psych and counseling were places that I found that out and then was able to apply it and help others. So.
Bill Stock is our guest today on Hometown Heroes. So we're going to ask him what are some of the biggest changes over these years in just a moment. I want to let you know PKM Electric is part of our sponsorship. The electricity guides into the world before sunrise. It powers the streetlights and sends you home safely at night. It leads you through nearby neighborhoods and takes you to faraway cities. Electricity empowers you. PKM Electric works hard to ensure it's there each and every day. Choose your destination. Be powerful. A message from your friends at PKM Electric in Warren. Also, Ace Rental, Thief River Falls, for all your rental needs. Stop on down or give them a call, 681-5862, right across from the courthouse on Main in Thief River Falls. Ace Rental. Also by Roxbury Truck Repair, Truck Shop, Truck and Trailer Maintenance and Repair. It's Roxbury Truck Repair. Marco, Communication Tools, Copiers, IT Service and Maintenance, marconet.com. Check them out. QuickPrint for all your printing needs. Check them out, too. Give them a call for information. QuickPrint. And our latest to join us on our Hometown Heroes, the Thief River Falls Regional Airport. Again, get more information. Leave to your destination. Fly out of the Thief River Falls Regional Airport. All right, Bill, you said 33, 34 years. After 30, it really doesn't make much difference because you lose track and it doesn't matter, I suppose. But looking back over these years, what are some of the bigger changes that you've had to deal with? Because you deal with the kids every day.
Yeah, and huge changes, and most of those, I actually get asked that question quite a bit, Mark, to be honest about it. So, and the changes really are really apparent. It's not a secret in terms of our culture. If you look at, I started in the early 70s, okay, in this business of helping kids, and you look at it now, 45, 46 years later, our culture has changed dramatically. And I define it this way, kids are kids and they're in development, but I really see our society as a really dangerous place for kids, to be very honest about it. There's just so much out there and that young people can get involved with, and sometimes they are victimized by other people's choices. And in my business, we talk about trauma and the difficulties that families and individuals have as adults and kids. And there's just so many different pitfalls and places that you can get lost in our world, and decisions that you have to make, can make, probably shouldn't have to make when you're young, and so sometimes it's your choices, and especially with high school kids, that's true. They're making choices about what they do and choose not to do, et cetera, and how they engage in school, and then there are just a lot. Sometimes we're all victimized by other people's choices.
How much does technology play a part in this, good, bad, or indifferent?
It's both. It's a two-edged sword, and we can debate and argue about that forever. It's here to stay. It's real. It's not going away. But it certainly had an influence. It's had an influence in. We're a one-to-one school, so we give every kid in our school a laptop computer, and there are incredibly wonderful opportunities and changes in our system that, as a result of that, at the same time, you got all of the downfalls that come with technology as well, and you could throw cell phones in there, and if you've done any kind of study and look at young people and screen time and bullying and social media, that is just really a two-edged sword.
There's another one, bullying. That's. I don't know if it's gotten worse or if we just know more about it.
It's different. It's different, and it is worse in the sense that if we look at technology, and again,
because there's other ways to bully.
Yeah, it's just honestly 24/7. Our kids and adults, we're on our stuff 24/7. And you can communicate, and we know clearly that sometimes you communicate not face-to-face, and you do things with the computer and technology. You can be a lot more nasty and hurtful and painful on social media, or just not face-to-face, and then it's just there constantly, and you can't get away from it unless you choose to, which you can, but a lot of people don't feel like they can. So,
Bill, if you were to give some advice for somebody who wants to be a counselor in life, what are some of the things you could give them advice to get there?
Perfect. Probably one of the things that really might surprise people is this is how the conversation goes in my office sometimes. And I haven't had one of these for a while, but a kid will come in and say, "So what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a counselor." "Well, I want to be a counselor. What do I do?" And I said, "Well, in your case, you need to do better in school." "Well, I could do your job. Why do I have to do school?" I said, "Because you got to get a master's degree to do what I do. And that means you got to survive 6 years of college. And that means you've got to pick it up here, because you're not demonstrating."
Well, then they rethink that counseling.
Well, and that's what they say. "Well, I can do that." And I said, "Yeah, but can you do 6 years of college is a question." So that's probably the first thing I would say. Is to you got to be a good student, because you got to go to school. If you want to be in the educational field, you got to be able to do education. And then after that, you need to really just take a look and try it out. Example for me, I was literally a junior in college, and I was still a pre-dent major, and I had was fooling myself about some things, and I made a decision. As a junior, senior later, I said. I really talked to some people who said, have you ever thought about doing this? And I hadn't. I really hadn't thought about. And I said, well, why that? And then they just pointed out to me things that I was doing that would have led me down a road to be with kids. And, the long and the short is that once I figured that out, I said, well, I better go try this out. So I went, and I was a big brother, and I volunteered at the teen center in Fargo, and I went out and did things. I got a job as a study hall proctor at Fargo North High School, and to be around kids and see if I even wanted to be in schools. And that was while I was going to graduate school. And
little hands-on stuff.
Yeah, you just got to go out and see if it works, and if it's really what you want to do. And the more I did, the more I liked it, and it was just an easy fit. So.
And now here you are.
And here I am.
30-some years later.
Exactly.
Bill, we're out of time, but I appreciate you coming in to visit with us. It's been great to have you on this morning on our Hometown Heroes.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate the invite.
Continue the great success here in town.
Well, thank you.
Look forward to visiting with you more.
Okay.
Bill Stock, our guest today on our Hometown Heroes. Hometown Heroes today brought to you by PKM Electric, by Ace Rental, Roxbury Truck Repair, Marco, Quick Print, and the Thief River Falls Regional Airport.